Growing up, WrestleMania was the end-all be-all. As a kid, my year revolved around looking forward to WrestleMania, and when I played a WWE game growing up, all the big matches took place at, of course, WrestleMania. And to this day, even if I'm not invested in the WWE as I once was, even if Mania does not hit the same anymore, at the end of the day, it's still WrestleMania. It's still the biggest and best spectacle of all time, it's still my dream to go, and it is still the grandest stage of them all. So I thought, why not a few days before this year's show, why not I go back in time and we have a little fun? Why not I share my personal top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches of all time? Not the best matches, not the top 10 greatest, but my favorites. The matches that hold a special place in my heart, the matches that helped shape me into the wrestling fan that I am today, the matches that inspired me to even make a YouTube channel in the first place. So let's get into it. First off, number 10, WrestleMania 17, Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Dudleys, TLC 3. Oh my. I was too young to watch WrestleMania 17 live in 2001, I was like 3 years old, but this match means a lot to me like it does for a lot of other people. Yo, when I think of this match, I think of little me browsing YouTube in like 06 and 07, trying to find this match in 240p, finding the match split up into like 3 parts and just sitting there watching it in the worst quality you could possibly imagine. This match was the holy grail back in the day. This match had this aura around it that you had to see it. You would hear stories about how epic this match was. Like, yo, you had to go out of your way to find this match. I'll never forget when I did. The shit they do in this match is insane. The things they do in this match shouldn't even be allowed in the first place. This match is responsible for a lot of childhood injuries for a lot of people, jumping off sofas, trying to recreate all these scenes and moments, and it's no different for me. This match was a horrible influence on my childhood safety. But that's the best part. We've had so many TLC matches since then, but none, ever, never, ever will another TLC match ever touch this match. Simply legendary. Number 9, WrestleMania 24, Edge vs. The Undertaker. WrestleMania 24 was such a fun WrestleMania, but the whole night I was waiting for this match. I was waiting for the main event. Even though I was a Cena guy and I wanted him to win the championship, at the end of the day, this was the match that I wanted to see because I wanted The Undertaker to kill Edge. I wanted to see a murder, but going into this match as a kid, I was scared because I actually believed that Edge might pull this off and he might win and end the streak. In hindsight, it's like, yeah, no way, Edge was never gonna win. But back in 08, I was traumatized, okay? When I was 9 years old and Edge was ruining everything every single week on SmackDown, always finessing a win, I thought he was somehow gonna win this match. I remember the commentators would always bring up, Edge has also never lost at WrestleMania, and then this match happened. I was nervous, I was shook, but it turned out to be such a fire match. There was so much drama. You had interferences, tombstones, the referee running for his life. It was such a fun match. But when Taker hit him with the tombstone and finally got the 1, 2, 3, I jumped for joy. Edge cashed in on Taker almost a year before, and finally, after almost 300 days, Taker finally got his revenge. Number 8, WrestleMania 21, HBK versus Kurt Angle. It was the Olympic gold medalist versus the showstopper, the icon, the main event, and that bald-headed freak made HBK tap out in the middle of the ring. This was the first true wrestling classic I'd ever seen as a kid. 2 of the greatest wrestlers of all time in the ring at WrestleMania. Enough said. Classic. Number 7, WrestleMania 19, The Rock vs. Stone Cold 3. I started watching wrestling right as The Rock was leaving for Hollywood, but going back and playing the video games, seeing clips, watching hand-me-down VHSs from older family members, I was always a Rock guy over Stone Cold. Whenever Stone Cold would come back for appearances, I always wished it was The Rock. Yeah, I love Austin, but The Rock was my guy. I never knew about Rock and Austin and their WrestleMania rivalry, so when I got this VHS as a kid, I watched it and I'm like, oh cool, Austin versus Rock at WrestleMania. And I remember seeing their promo and finding out that Rock had never beat Austin at Mania. And when I heard that, I was invested. I was praying, even though this match had already taken place like 2 years before, I was praying to God, like, please God, can Austin finally lose to The Rock? I love it. Hollywood Rock and Stone Cold in his last true match. It's beautiful, okay? It's in Safeco Field. The Rock is such a heel and you have him wearing Austin's vest, all the finishers you could possibly imagine. You add in how this match was almost canceled. It was the perfect end to the trilogy, and with The Rock finally winning, finally beating that bald-headed son of a bitch at Mania, definitely in my top 10 favorite matches of all time. Number 6, WrestleMania 31, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. As these buffoons are about to main event their third WrestleMania, the first one will always be king. Going into this match, I couldn't care less, okay? Me and so many people didn't care about this match because they had such a bad build-up and everyone knew that Roman was probably going to win. And on the night of WrestleMania 31, if you told me that, hey, in 7 years you're gonna say that this is one of your top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches ever, I would have slapped you. I'm serious. After such a fun WrestleMania, this was the main event. It's like, alright, well, time to get let down, let's get it over with. But nah, the match starts and all you see is blood everywhere. These two look like they want to kill each other. Suplex City bitch was born, and then somehow this match actually had everyone invested. It was like, yo, this is actually good. And then it happened when you least expected it. Seth Rollins came out, and man, it's still so crazy to think about it. A man really cashed in his money in the bank in the main event of WrestleMania, and Seth Rollins shocked the world and had everyone tweaking. I'm not a Roman fan or a Rollins fan. Yeah, I like Lesnar, but it's not that serious. But this match has to be here, okay? There's no way anyone who watched this live, who was a part of this, that can put this in their top 10. Just because of how insane this truly was. The best way to describe this match is, what a time it was to be alive. Number 5, WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. No WrestleMania list would be complete without this one. I had to choose out of the 4 matches from 2009 until 2012. I told myself I can only put one on the list, and this was the one. This was the one that had the most impact on me. This was the one that set the bar. This was the one that was so elite that it took The Undertaker's streak from something cool to something legendary. This is probably the best wrestling match I've ever seen live, and because of the people and the star power involved and how special it was, this will probably forever be the best match I'll ever see live. You had Mr. WrestleMania pull up in all white from the heavens above, Taker in all black from hell, and these two tore the house down. And this match reached a level of art that I didn't think was possible in wrestling. This match changed the way I looked at wrestling, and like JR says in this match, I had an outer body experience watching this match just like everyone else. Number 4, WrestleMania 18, Rock versus Hogan. This match right here is probably my most watched match ever. My bootleg WrestleMania 18 VHS tape has been worn down beyond comprehension, and it's all because of this match. Rock versus Hogan, two of the biggest stars in wrestling history in my hometown, in front of the loudest crowd you will ever find at a wrestling show or any sporting event, period. Simply magic. This match is the most basic wrestling match you will probably ever see, but the crowd was so turned, the crowd was so alive that it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Hogan coming in as the heel magically becomes the face, Rock having to play heel halfway through, the electricity, the commentary, and I didn't see this match live, but it was so special to me that even 3, 4, 5 years after this, I would go back and watch this match on VHS at least once a week. As a young wrestling fan, this match captured my imagination more than any other match I'd ever done at that point. I mean, yo, it was icon versus icon. Of course it was going to be iconic. Number 3, WrestleMania 29, CM Punk versus The Undertaker. And I know what you're probably saying, yo, how is this on top of HBK versus Taker? You just said that match did this for you, amazing outer body experience. Yeah, I know, those are the better matches, I know. But there is just something about this match. There is something about this match that just resonates with me. From the entrances to the actual match, I went into this match thinking there was no way in hell CM Punk would end the streak. And then 10 minutes into the match, I was having an anxiety attack thinking, yo, CM Punk might actually end the streak. For some reason, the longer this match went, the more invested I got. The more I had that weird feeling in my stomach like, yo, what if Punk actually wins? What if somehow CM Punk ends the streak and I get to watch it right here, right now? It was so weird. There was so much emotion and I didn't even really care about this match too much going into it. But that's the thing, CM Punk carried this match like his life depended on it. I'm not even the biggest CM Punk fan, but it was all him. Punk put on such a crazy classic performance. The performance of a lifetime in my opinion. Like, he rose to the occasion. He was such an amazing heel here. Taker gave us one last classic Mania performance, and when Punk hit him with the urn, I was like, GG, that's it. My heart stopped. But no, like I said, there are other streak matches that are better with Shawn and Triple H, but this one, for some reason, I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, because CM Punk somehow made me believe this is the one Undertaker streak match that hit me the hardest. Number 2, WrestleMania 28, Cena versus Rock. I know a lot of people thought that this was going to be my #1 match, and trust me, I did too, but it's not. You guys already know how much this match means to me, how special it is. It's not a wrestling classic, it's not even known for its amazing crowd like Rock versus Hogan, but it's still so special to me because of the two people involved, my two GOATs, where I was in my life during it, how invested I was, the build up, the vibe. It was Cena versus Rock. Even though it's not #1, this holds such a special place in my heart because when those two got in the ring after a year of build up and they were staring at each other and the bell rang, it felt like time had stood still. This was my generation's Rock versus Hogan, and man, it was such a special time. The biggest WrestleMania match I had ever seen in my life and probably ever will see, and this was the match that I was most invested in, but it's still not #1 because #1 is a match that just made me feel some type of way. It's a match that when I look back to, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the guy who won the match, who the match was centered around, I just can't help but smile and remember the feelings I felt during the match. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite WrestleMania match of all time, #1, WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista. Listen man, it's simple. How can watching someone's dream come true not be here? Daniel Bryan wasn't supposed to be in the main event of WrestleMania. He was supposed to be in a random ass match with Sheamus after everything Daniel Bryan had been through leading up to here. Not even storyline wise, but real life wise. To see him end up in the main event of WrestleMania, something that wasn't even a guarantee going into the show against two of the biggest stars in the past 20 years, all the drama and the whole time everyone was on the edge of their seat because it's like, no way, somehow the WWE will mess this up, something's gonna happen, Daniel Bryan's not gonna win, there's no way. But when Batista tapped and in the middle of the ring the fans were going absolutely crazy, the confetti, the pyro, the culmination of a 15-year journey, and seeing Daniel Bryan celebrate with Conor the Crusher, this has to be here. The story of Daniel Bryan reaching this moment and watching every single week and cheering not just for the character but for the man and hoping that he gets his chance, that he gets his due, and finally seeing it happen, it's just one of those special matches and moments where you don't even have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate. It's just one of the best stories that WWE has ever told, and what makes it so much better is it's a story that they didn't even want to tell, but they had no choice but to tell. I'll never forget the feeling of happiness that me and my friends had watching this, because I don't know, it's just pure happiness. The best way to describe this match is just pure happiness. Shawn versus Taker was a better match. Cena versus Rock was a bigger match, and I love those two more than I love Daniel Bryan, but no wrestling match has ever made me happier than this one. And yeah, that match is my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. That is my list. Now I know it's kind of a weird list and I'm missing some classics like Bret versus Austin or whatnot, and trust me, I know, I love those matches and I know all the old classic matches. I've seen so much WrestleMania, like trust me, I'm a nerd, I know all about them. But these are my top 10, okay? These are the top 10 matches that have a special place in my heart, the matches that I grew up watching, the matches that I was invested in, that I cared about. These are my essential WrestleMania matches, and these are my favorite WrestleMania matches. So in the comments below, let me know your top 10. What are the 10 special Mania matches for you? I don't care how random they are, how weird they are. What are the 10 WrestleMania matches that hold a special place in your heart and are something that you will never ever forget? Let me know below. Thank you guys for watching. Also, let me know what you guys think of my list. I really appreciate you guys clicking on this video and watching it. It was more of a personal video. I'll see you guys soon for more content coming soon. But until then, take it easy. Peace out, guys. Later.